Hey, what is up guys? GuitarRock here. Welcome back to another Brown Dust 2 video. So guess what is happening this particular week? We got Olivia coming in this particular game in Brown Dust 2, the new variant specifically. So we're going to check out every single thing about her and hopefully give you guys my thoughts and ideas. This is going to be pre-analysis before we try to pull her, right? The truth is, Olivia is... I think she's a little bit weird. In my opinion, she's quite odd because she has always been a DPS character, right? She's always a character that does damage. But now they gave her a kit where she's pretty much essentially a support, alright? So we're gonna look at everything that she can do right here in this particular patch notes in terms of a kit. But first things first, you gotta be aware of is we're gonna have a new event, right? And as per usual, this is going to be the one with the bonuses, right? Made Leatrice right there, alongside with Michaela, and then we got late lifeguard Nebri, and of course the retired legend Olivia. So we are also going to have the new GNR GH01. This is going to be the water boss specifically, right? So there's a couple of things that will be changing right here. Bi-weekly arcade ranking reset. So now, if you love the arcade games, you can now try this out. It is going to be a very, very good one that allows you to change things accordingly. Season, event, slice of life update. There's also partial removal of twig, gluttony in certain areas, right? So it is going to be much more simplified right now, easier for you to be able to do certain things. So let's talk about Olivia. But before that, we're going to try to watch this particular PV that they uploaded. I don't think it's on their YouTube channel, but it's on the official X Twitter page, right? Okay. Magical change. Alright, so as you can see right there, she actually did a little bit of damage, right? So let's try and observe that again slowly. So she tried to charge up and she tries to fire like some sort of shot in the middle, right? Literally, it only hits that one enemy right there. And the other one on the left and the right seems to be alright, they didn't take any damage. So this is going to be how her chibi looks like. Now she's apparently the first character with two forms, which I find it very, very cool, very interesting. Retired legend. Okay. So I think that's pretty much it, right? So alongside with that, we also got this particular Michaela. If you guys are looking to pull for her, this one is going to be the Archbishop version. Now again, for Michaela specifically, I feel like if you are getting her this particular variant at least, right? You want to make sure that you have... Are they happening at the same time? I think Michaela is coming next week. So most likely I will worry about that later when she comes. But I feel like this particular costume, this one gives you a little bit of crit damage, if I remember correctly, right? So it's much more of a buff to the other two costumes. The one that is important is the Office Michaela, the one that hits in the cross tile, right? That's the one that does a lot of damage, the one that takes like additional SP and stuff. So if you have that one, you can have this one to improve overall. But you can see we're gonna have this particular new boss. Damn, this is literally Kaiten boss from Blue Archive, but they, you know, I guess a little bit of a concept that as a tale as old as time because Power Rangers, right? So let's have a look at this particular costume right here, right? So what is this Olivia going to be all about? You can see right here, all right? She is a character that hits in the straight line exactly like we saw earlier. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit. 6 SP, alright, goes down to 5 at +1. So usually I get asked this question a lot. The reduction in SP is going to be the good stopping point. So if you want to pull for her, I would say minimum, get her up to +1. If you cannot, then I think it's +0 is usually going to be very, very difficult. You're not going to be able to cycle as efficiently because, you know, like SP is always going to be the most important thing that you're going to run out of, right? Always keep that in mind. Now you can see right here, create a domain on the battlefield for 10 turns. Alright, this is going to last quite a while. Increasing allies' magic attack by 60%. That's pretty good, right? So this is going to be a domain on the battlefield. Alright, that is going to increase everybody's magic attack. Attack the enemy 6 times, dealing magic damage equal to 50% of your magic attack per hit. Now, it didn't say... Let me see if I can see how big is the domain. Because as far as I know, that straight line is not the domain. That straight line is going to be her attack, right? So let me see again. It didn't really quite show right there, right? All we see is that she basically charges up and she hits the enemy, right? So I was a little bit confused because I thought this is going to be the range, right? Like the range of the domain, right? That you have to position your allies within this straight line to basically get that increase in magic attack. But I don't think that's the case. It seems like it seems like in the case this is just going to be her attack range, because she not only provides the domain, she also attacks the enemies 6 times right here, dealing magic damage equal to 50% of your magic attack per hit. Now, this is not something that I can verify as of the time of me recording this, because the character is not out yet. I have to wait for that to come out. But I can say this with a certain, if the restriction is going to be in a straight line and the buff only benefits the character that you place in the middle, that's always going to be a very difficult thing, because sometimes for Fiend Hunter and for guild raids, you need to move your characters sometimes to the left, sometimes to the right, depending on the situation, right? So it is going to be a little bit tricky, right? It is going to decrease her value as a whole. However, if this is going to affect, you know, there's no position dependent kind of range, everybody on the map will be able to get this benefit, then I would say this is a very, very good buff overall, because you know, doesn't matter where you place your map, you're literally getting the magic attack increase by 60%, right? Even though 60% is not that crazy, alright, for context, alright, maybe some of you guys forget, but for somebody like Helena, for example, right? How much does Helena gives? Helena gives 115%, if I remember correctly. 115% magic attack, and she also gives crit rate, she also heals, right? So this is always still going to be, Helena is still always going to be way more valuable in regular PvE content. And then we have character like, what's the other one besides Helena, right? We also got Grenadier recently, that's going to be something to consider, right? With something like Grenadier, right? She has 80%, alright, for 4 turns, and then another 70% here, so in total about 150%, right? So that's a lot. So you have these 2 characters right here that actually gives you a lot of these kind of buffs, right? So in terms of hers right here, 60%, it goes up to 80%. Okay, that's pretty cool. 80% at +2. At least you get that a little bit of increase. +2 might actually be worth it a little bit more. +3, the damage increase, whatever. +4, it goes up to 100%. I would say +4 is probably going to be a very good one. Alright, if you are looking at the buffs maximum. Alright, so her skill potential is going to reduce the SP -1. So I believe from 5 SP, it's going to go down to 4 SP. Way more manageable, right? So for what she does, 4 SP, I would say is pretty good. Damage increase, I guess this 80% goes up to 90%. And then cooldown is going to be reduced by 2 turns. Alright, it's going to become a 13-turn cooldown. Now here's the truth though, right? Here's the truth with all of this, right? With Tearfing, overall, what do I think of this? I still find this very, very weird, very, very odd. I don't think this costume is a bad costume, but I don't think you can utilize this costume in a way that you want for a regular supporter. So what do I mean by that is because you're not going to use her to replace Helena. You're not going to use her to replace Grenadier, alright? She's not going to replace any of the core supporters, or Therese rather, right? In trying to like give you magic attack buff. I guess she's an okay... It's a little bit weird, right? It's weird in a way that, are you really going to use her as a supporter? Probably not, right? You are just going to use her as a DPS character, because her other 2 costume is literally still there, right? So that's where she shines. She has this costume right here. This one is a preemptive, alright? She is going... wait, this is not the preemptive. The other one is the preemptive. This one is the one that gives you back SP, alright? And then the more enemies you hit, the more SP you get back, and then it's going to do damage increase per target, right? So this is going to be the one that do damage. And then she has one more costume right here, which is going to be this particular one. This is going to be her strongest one. Alright, if you're looking for a DPS, I've tested this costume before multiple times. This costume is literally the magic equivalent of Sacred Justia. Alright, if you don't have Sacred Justia, she can also work in a lot of campaign scenario. Look at this range, right? You max that out, this is going to be like an insane, incredible amount of range. And you know, damage is increased by 100% for each SP consumed. The more SP you consume, the more damage this does. Now these 2 costumes, right, combined together is going to be her primary focus of doing damage. And then you have this particular one, alright? 100% chance to evade. That one is like whatever, maybe it's good in PvP and stuff, but magic attack increased by 80%. She already has this particular one, which is preemptive. Alright, now she got one more right here that's going to give her even more magic attack, right? Now, in a nutshell, it's probably not too bad. It's like, okay, so she's going to get more buff on herself. But if you think about it, it would be nicer for this to be something other than magic attack again, right? Because she already has, like I mentioned, this particular costume, right? This is assuming you have every single one of her costume, right? If you already have this magic attack, and then she got one more that also gives magic attack, I feel like that's a little bit of a waste, just because I feel like if this was property damage, or if this was crit damage, or any other different kind of buff, it would have been way better. But because it's magic attack again, so it's like, sure, right? That's like one factor that I can think of that might not put her value as high as I thought. I feel like it's way more skippable compared to the other three. In fact, I feel like if you got the other three costume, do you really need this one, right? So that's like one factor. Number two is, let's say you get this costume to +5, are you able to use this like how you use the other supporters, right? No, in my opinion, no, right? You mostly are only going to use Olivia in a way that when you basically use her, right, she is going to be there. I don't know, man. I just don't see, I don't see this happening. Can you use Olivia as a support? Maybe you can, alright, if you want to try to boost Michaela, for example. Let's say you use Olivia as a support, right? Let's say you use her as specifically a support. You got, the thing is this one, right, increase only her magic attack. That's the thing though. This one only increase her magic attack. So it doesn't increase everyone else's one. But this one creates a domain where it increases allies' magic attack. So you can use this as a support, and then you can maybe use this one as like to generate SP for Michaela maybe. So Michaela is going to be your main DPS, right? You can maybe do that because Michaela is, as far as I know, the only other magic light type, I guess, besides Angelica, if you want to count that. But it's just it's a very odd one in my opinion. I feel like it's not a bad costume overall, but it's just not a priority. Like I think like for like 70% of the players, right? The reason why I say 70% is like I'm usually including like mostly the new players and the intermediate players, right? The one that's been playing like maybe for a couple of months, 6 months or so. Do you really need this particular new costume? In my opinion, not really, right? This is not a priority costume that you really want. In most cases, for like somebody that's veteran, maybe you're looking to improve your team, alright, because you need 3 teams for the Fin Hunter, sure. But like for like beginners to like intermediate players, your pool should go elsewhere, alright? For example, I think you probably get better value out of getting Maid Leatrice right now. She's available right there. Maid Leatrice can carry you in the PvE scenario, right? So that could be like a very, very good one. So right now you can see Maid Leatrice is still here if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, she's still there and she will be there for the next 7 days. So you probably get more value out of Maid Leatrice in your account, right? If you haven't already +5 her, right? Because she's probably going to be one of the better in terms of AoE character as well for Fire. Alright, she's still the best Fire AoE DPS character in the game as well. So that's just my take overall, right? So again, if you guys disagree, let me know in the comment section below. We'll test her out when she comes out tomorrow and we'll see how it goes, right? So with that being said, that is going to be it for this particular video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Subscribe if you guys haven't already. Give this video a like and I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a nice day. Goodbye.